Hey guys, and welcome! Today's video will be all about the 4 class gadgets in Battlefield 2042 that we received with the last update, and I want to give you a bit more insight on them and some tips around their usage and functionality so you are well prepared for the next match. Class gadgets are unique gear that can only be used by their respective class, and they cannot be unequipped or swapped with another gadget and are also not available to other classes anymore. During a match you can see your class gadget in the bottom right corner of your screen between your normal gadget and your throwable, and to use it press D-pad up on console and controller or 5 on PC if you use the default button mapping. The class gadget for the Assault class is the Med Pen, and this can be used to quickly heal up yourself when wounded without the help of a support player or a med crate. When deploying you have one of them in your inventory, and once you take damage you can use it simply by tapping the aforementioned button. You don't need to hold it. If you take 35 damage or more, so you are below 65% health, there will also be a self-heal message shown on screen. This will disappear again once you use the Med Pen or a med crate, or once you start to heal automatically. When your med pen is used up, you can resupply it at a med crate, an ammo crate, or at Angel's loadout drop, and ammo crate and loadout drop resupply was not possible before the update. So if you have used the med pen for a while already and you got used to resupplying only at med crates, you can now also get them at the other support gadgets. The time it takes to initiate the healing is 1 second, and then the med pen will heal 35 HP per second, which means if you are down to 1 HP it will take a bit less than 3 seconds to fully heal up. You can also interrupt the healing in case you have to fire your weapon, and then you will keep your med pen and the healing animation will stop, and when you start it again it will keep going at the point you have stopped it, so you won't have the full animation anymore. If you have not taken any damage yet and you are at full health, the icon for the med pen in your HUD is grayed out to show that it's currently not available, but once you take damage it will become accessible. This can make it a bit hard to tell if the med pen is grayed out because you can't use it or because you don't have any in your pockets. But I hope this will be changed with a future update so that the pen always shows up in your normal HUD color as long as you have one in your inventory, and only gets grayed out when the slot is empty. Next up is the Engineer class with a repair tool, and this one can be used to keep allied vehicles and gadgets alive, but also to damage and destroy enemy ones. When a friendly vehicle is low on health, just walk over to it with the tool in your hand and hold the trigger button to start the repair. And while you do this, the status of the tool and the vehicle is visible in the middle of your screen, with a green bar below the crosshair showing the health of the vehicle and a semicircle within it indicating the overheat and cooldown of the tool. You can repair for about 8 seconds before the tool overheats, and then it has around 3 seconds of cooldown before you can use it again. But its duration also depends on the time you have used the tool. So when you repair for 2 seconds, the cooldown will be less than 1 second, but when you repair until it overheats, you will have the full 3-second cooldown. This doesn't make any difference in the time you need to repair a vehicle to 100%, but it's an indicator for when you can use the tool again. Every 3 seconds of repairing, you will also receive 20 XP, and these do not only count towards logistics ribbons, but also to your overall score. How many times you have repaired allied vehicles during a match is also shown in the scoreboard. If you play as Crawford, you will have an advantage compared to the other 2 engineer specialists, because with his trait he has the ability to quickly repair vehicles that are below 25% health. This benefit is shown by a dash in the bar below the tool's crosshair, and when the trait is active, the bar will turn yellow and a small repair icon will be shown above it. But you will only repair the vehicle faster until it has reached 25% health again. The rest of the repair is done at the same speed that all other engineers have as well. So the trait is only made to save vehicles shortly before they get destroyed, but not to repair them faster in general. In addition, you can also not see from distance which vehicles are below 25% health. You have to pay close attention to their health bar. Besides this, all vehicles near your location that are in need of a repair in general have a little tool icon above them, which makes it easier for you to recognize them, and you as engineer have the same icon above your head, which makes it easier for the vehicle driver to identify who might be able to help them or not. If no one is coming for a repair, they can also request it with a common rose, and that will trigger the same icon again. When you start repairing, the driver is also notified that someone fixes his vehicle with a message on the left side of the screen, but unfortunately most of them still drive away even when they are behind cover. And that's why I always recommend to take smoke grenades or a smoke underbarrel launcher with you, so you can cover yourself while repairing or running behind the vehicle and also the damaged vehicle itself. This is a bit easier when you are in the passenger seat of an aircraft or an LATV, because here you can just sit down and repair the vehicle from the inside without being exposed to the enemy. That's really helpful to keep your team's helicopters alive much longer, but also comes in handy for weekly missions where you have to do repairs. And what you also receive when repairing in general are repair assists, and this gets triggered when a driver, pilot or gunner in a vehicle you have recently repaired does a kill. But the repair tool can not only be used for ground and air vehicles, it can also repair the robot dog ranger and different deployable gadgets like Boris Sentry Gun, Crawford's mounted Vulcan, Irish shootdown sentinel or the EOD bot. And if you face an enemy tank on close range, you can also quickly disassemble it in the same way you would repair a teammate's vehicle. If you want to try it out on infantry, go ahead and burn some holes into their uniforms, and if you're looking for another way to communicate with your teammates, you can also draw with it. But now let's head over to the support class with the Defibrillator as class gadget, because this one can be used to revive all of your teammates with up to full health and zap the lights out of some enemies as well. Before the update, the Defibrillator was not accessible as manual gadget and was only used when interacting for a revive, no matter if you were a support player or not, but this has changed. Now it can be used as a normal manually operated gadget, and that comes with a few benefits. First of all, there are two types of reviving. One is the interaction revive that we already had, and where you just walk over to a downed teammate, press the interact button and the revive will be done automatically. In the past, Falk was the only one able to revive all teammates with full health, while the other two support specialists gave 50 HP, but now all of them revive with full health and only the speed differs. When you play as Falk, you need 1 second for an interaction revive, and with Irish or Angel it takes 2 seconds. As a comparison, the squad revive you can do as normal specialist takes about 2.5 seconds. But like I said, the good thing is that all support players now give full health with the interaction revive, even though it might take a little longer for some of them. The manual revive, on the other hand, that you can only do when you access the Defibrillator with the gadget button, also has its pros and cons. To revive a teammate with full health, you need to hold the trigger button to charge the gadget and then release it to do the revive. And here the difference between Falk, Irish and Angel is also the time it takes them to charge it up, but the advantage is that you can decide for yourself if you even want to go for a full revive or not. When you charge the gadget, there is a small semicircle shown in the middle of the screen, and that indicates how long it takes until the Defibrillator is fully charged and also how long it is on cooldown afterwards. When the white circle is full, you will revive with 100% health. If it's not full, your teammate will get up with less than 100%. When you only tap the trigger because you don't have the time to charge it up, you will revive with 25% health, which is the same amount the squad revive has, by the way. The charge up times for a full revive are the same as for the interaction revive, so there's no disadvantage or advantage here in using one or the other. But the quick revive is always done within the blink of an eye, no matter what specialist you play. So when you are sure you can go for a full revive and there are no threats around, I would recommend to stick to the interaction revive simply because it gives your teammates full health. But in more dangerous situations with enemies around where you don't have the time to go for a full revive, the manual Defibrillator definitely comes in handy to get your mates back to life, even though it is at low health, and then patch them up with a med crate or Falk's red pistol from distance. Downed teammates can be seen by the typical icon above their bodies that is either blue or green, and if the icon is filled, the soldier requested a revive, which is also connected to an audio signal. And if the icon shows an X, your mate skips the revive and is already on the way to the deploy screen. If you want to tell a downed soldier that you are coming for the revive, you can also point your crosshair at their icon and toggle the ping button, because then they will receive a message that a medic is incoming and they will also get highlighted for you. If the downed teammate is from your squad, it's also worth to take a look around and check for markers, cause when downed they can still ping enemies nearby or dangerous situations, but these pings can only be seen by squad mates. Nevertheless, they can save your life if you recognize them before going for the revive, so be sure to take your time to do it. What you can do as well with a Defibrillator, and that's the last point here, is to defend yourself, at least in close range, cause to kill an enemy with it you don't have to charge it up, you only need to tap the trigger for a quick zap and it will deal 100 damage. And as the last gadget, there is the Insertion Beacon that is available for the Recon class, and this can be used as additional deploy point for you and your squad mates. It can be placed at different locations on the map and appears as a small green square with an arrow in the deploy screen, and you and your squad mates can spawn up to 4 times on it before it self-destructs. Beacons of other teammates can also be seen on the map and appear in blue, but you cannot spawn at them. In return, teammates outside of your squad can also not spawn at your beacon. The mechanic that the beacon also self-destructs when you spawn at your own beacon was removed with the update, so that's something you don't have to think about anymore. I would still recommend to place a new one when you spawn on it yourself, cause 4 spawns are not much and the beacon is pretty easy to destroy. The good thing on the other hand is that it can now be resupplied at normal ammo crates and not only at Angel's loadout drop, so you can get a new beacon a lot easier. But of course, if you place a new one when the former beacon is still on the map, the old one gets destroyed. So you cannot have more than 1 beacon on the map at any time. Same if you switch to another class. If you played Recon before and placed a beacon but then switched to a different class, the formerly placed beacon will be destroyed. In addition, it can also be easily removed from the map by enemies simply with a few bullets, plus Sundance's anti-armor grenades also automatically find and lock onto it, and Casper's drone and EMP grenades can temporarily disable it. So be sure to place the beacon in a hidden spot, since these types of gadgets are really vulnerable. The beacon is also pretty easy to identify by its size and shape, even from distance, and even more with the new thermal scopes, and when close to it, it makes a slight radio noise, but this is luckily hard to recognize in the thick of the battle. For every time one of your squad mates spawns at your beacon, you receive a small amount of XP, but you should be aware that the beacon doesn't prevent you from spawning in the middle of a gunfight or when there are enemies around. And the direction you face when spawning at the beacon is the same as the one you're looking at when you place it. So when you put it into a corner of a building and you look at the corner when placing it, your squad will also spawn into this direction. Just keep that in mind and don't let your mates spawn with the back towards a door or an opening where they are easy targets. And as a last small fact about the Insertion Beacon, it's not only useful as an additional spawn point, but also as a stepladder to get up on higher obstacles like containers. And that's it for today. I hope this video gave you some insight on the available class gadgets in Battlefield 2042, and if it did, be sure to drop a like or a comment below and subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more content like this. Until then, thanks for watching. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.